What's up, everybody? Smoove Cosplayer here, your favorite salsa dancing cosplayer, bringing you another episode of Smoove Conversations. Tonight, my honored guest is Skyy. How you doing tonight, Skyy?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Cool. It's been, we were talking earlier, it's been ages. I was about to say since Dragon Con 2019, but it's actually been since 2018, right?
Yeah, I think, 2018, I believe. I want to say that. Gotcha. I would hope it hadn't been longer than that, but.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like at this point, because I'm not going to make it this year. I don't know about you, but
no.
Whenever we come back to full power here, it's going to feel like we done returned from the snap or some long, weird anime time skip or whatever. We're going to come back and it's like, dang, I ain't seen none of y'all in forever.
Yeah, it's like when Dragon Con was going on, I would always tell everybody at my job, I was like, yeah, I'm going to my family reunion, so I'll see y'all every year immediately as soon as they let us put time in. I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking this is mine.
Exactly.
But you know now, whether you give it to me off or not, I won't be here.
Right.
So, this is an annual thing for me. So and I would sit at work and work on my cosplays, and they just kind of knew it was what it was. But
right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's been a minute and I haven't been in a cosplay.
Right. It's funny to say. Was that?
I haven't been in an actual cosplay in so long.
I miss it. I went to Costumes Etc. today. It's a place in Buckhead in Atlanta, and I was just going to the window shop, and just the costuminess and the geekiness just kind of washed over me, and I was just like, I miss this.
Yeah, and see, you're in Atlanta. I'm in Memphis, so we have some like conventions, but we don't have anything like a Dragon Con. Like our conventions are very, very small, very local, no big celebrities or anything like that. So Atlanta is like my second home.
There you go. So speaking of cosplay, Skyy, when did you fall in love with cosplay?
Okay, so crazy enough, I don't remember the year. It's been a long time, but I was coming to Atlanta. Now, this is the craziest thing ever. I write lesbian fiction.
Okay.
So I was coming to Atlanta for Gay Pride, which is also the same weekend as, Dragon Con.
Right.
So this particular year, I was like, okay, I got booked to do a book reading or a book signing. And I was like, okay, I needed a place to stay last minute. I went on Priceline and did their price match. or the one where they pick the place for you.
Right.
I ended up with the Marriott Marquis. I think I maybe paid like $80 for it. And I ended up at the Marriott Marquis. So I was like, all right, that's downtown, And at this time, I want to say there was one group that used to have their stuff at the Westin, but they had moved from the Westin by now, and I didn't know why they moved. I think Pride just kind of went on. Well, I know now why they moved because of Dragon Con, but they used to have the Westin, and then Pride would be up in Midtown and at the Lowe's and different things over there. Yeah. Not Lowe's. It was a different hotel. But anyway, so I ended up paying like $80 for the Marriott Marquis. Me and my friends are driving into town, and we stop at a light downtown. And all of a sudden, all of these costume people, back that back. We're downtown, we're at this light. There is a guy in a trench coat with like a huge rifle on his back. And we're looking like, oh my God, he is finna shoot up something. Let's get out of here. We need to go. And then the light changed, and all of a sudden, all these people in all these costumes. So my friends are like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, I'm so excited, and they're like mortified. Like, what in the world?
Right.
So we pull up to the marquee, get out, go inside, and it's just costumes everywhere, and people ain't just having a good time. And I was like a kid in Disney World for the first time. I was just like, I don't know what this is, but this is where I'm supposed to be. I didn't know anything. My friends go out that night to go to the club because they're here to party. They are completely not thinking about anything in this hotel. I decided to stay at the hotel that night and just walk around and be like, okay, I need to find out what this is because I don't know. And lo and behold, you know, luckily everybody at Dragon Con is typically either super drunk or super friendly. So people were telling me, oh, it's Dragon Con. It's, you know, it's this. And then we do this for this days. And you should come to this party and you should do this. And of course I couldn't get in a party because I didn't have a pass. I didn't know anything about it, but it was the marquee. So it's just a party in the lobby. Yeah. So I'm just like, this is fantastic. I'm coming. So the next year I actually bought a pass. I was by myself. I was again at the Marriott Marquis. And no, I wasn't at the Marriott. I was up in Midtown because they had put me up in a room for another signing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Dragon Con. I have my pass. It was only for one day. I was like, I'm going to go and figure out what this is. And I put on this little, I can't even call it a real costume. I don't know what it was that I had on, but it was like, okay, I'm just going to put something on. So I'm standing outside waiting on, I think it was Amelia or, yeah, I want to say it was the Amelia or something like that. It was in Midtown. And I'm standing outside of it with this terrible excuse for a costume. I mean, I'm like some 80s. I'm like, I'm going to be like an 80s chick. And I just got on like an off the shoulder shirt and weird hair or something. It's terrible. But I'm standing outside and I meet these two girls that were headed over to Dragon Con. And they were like, oh, we're going to Dragon Con. You can ride with us. It's like, I'm by myself. She was like, oh, you can hang with us. It's like, cool. While we're standing there, some women that are fans of my books recognize me. Ooh. I was like, oh my God, Skyy, we love you. And then they were like, what are you wearing? And I was like, oh, I'm going to a party. And they were like, oh my God, we like, so they're freaking out because they're meeting me. And the two girls I just met were like, are you famous? We don't know it. I was like, no, I'm totally not famous. And so that time they took me to Dragon Con with them. Two adorable white women that I love today, we're still friends to this day, got me so drunk. And I mean, all I remember is it was like 4:00 in the morning. I'm down at the Marriott at one of the parties. I'm dancing to one side. I'm seeing like Sailor Moon. And then I turn and I'm dancing to the other side. And it's something else, Captain Planet, I want to think. And then I turn and in front of me was Jesus. And I was like, okay, it's time for me to go home. But that was the start of Dragon Con for me. After that, I was going ever since. And the year after that, it was Spartacus. And that's when I met Maya Gardner. That's when I met Aaliyah Mason. And we connected. And ever since then, of course, Maya introduced me to you and everybody else. And so that's now, it's like I say, it's my geek family reunion.
There we go.
It was a long story. Sorry about that.
I'm here for the long stories. I love that you say your family reunion because I feel the exact same way. So I name all my Dragon Con albums on Facebook. Not Dragon Con insert year, but Geek Family Reunion insert year. Because that's how I feel. It's like the family. Well, I like my family, but I know not everybody has that experience. You know, there's some people that dread their family reunions, and I get it. But Dragon Con is like going to that family reunion where you actually like the people at the reunion. Right.
Exactly. Like it took a minute for my regular friends. Like I have my regular friends and I have my blurred friends. And so it took a while for my regular friends to understand because again, they were used to, oh, we're going to Atlanta Pride. And I literally just stopped going to Atlanta Pride. I'm like, we can ride together, but y'all gonna be in Midtown. I'm gonna be in downtown. And they didn't get it. They didn't understand why I was so like, I have to do this. I'm not going to no parties. I got parties to go to. It just won't be y'all's. Yeah. And they didn't understand, you know, who are these people? And still my local friends or the friends I've had for a million years, they really haven't met my Dragon Con family yet. And it's just because it's two different worlds. And like, they know, oh, she's a nerd. We get it. Now after Black Panther, they're starting to say, maybe we want to dress in a costume. And I'm like, okay, fine, you can come. You know, it's kind of like, but I'm like, it's my space, it's my time. to be who I want to be. It's my time to literally be as free as I want to be.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard for regular people to understand that. It's kind of like, oh, why can't you do that with us? And I was like, because you'll love me, but you're also going to think I'm crazy. So let me just go with the people who understand it. Right. And then I also love talking about it because my friends, my DragonCon family is so eclectic. Like you, a salsa dancer. And then it's like, oh, well, this friend might be, a banker or something, but then by night he's something completely else. And even me being a writer, it's like, oh yeah, I'm a writer by day, but then, come the middle of DragonCon night, I might be Khaleesi, who knows? So, that's why I just love it. It's like the time that I can literally be whatever I want to be.
Amen to that. I want to hit, you touched on like how your worlds merged, like the Pride weekend and also DragonCon. And then for me, like you said, it was salsa and DragonCon. I'm gonna come back to that, but one thing you reminded me of I know you said that you went to the Marriott one night and it was like 4 a.m. and you're partying. One thing I've always wondered, because I feel old doing this, but I don't think I've ever stayed out past 12 or 12:30 at DragonCon.
I haven't in recent years. The first year, that first official year of mine, you can't who was the comedian that said you can't, Cat Williams said you can't get drunk with your white friends. That's what happened. It was like, oh.
Maybe go watch that right after we get done with this. I haven't watched that in years. I got it right over there.
It got me so messed up. I was so drunk. We ran around those hotels. I have never done that much stuff in one night in my life. It was like, I really honestly could write a movie about that because it was so ridiculous. Like just literally running around like I have not a care in the world, drunk as can be.
Yeah.
I haven't really stayed out. I think 2 might be the latest I've done in recent years. But I'm old now. No, you're going to give me about 12:30, 10 maybe. That's going to be it for me.
See, what I'm wondering is, all right, so I stayed in the Marriott once. And the year, I think it was 26. I think it was actually the year I met you, or at least the year I remember meeting you. Like, sometimes you meet somebody. Now you have one recollection of it, but the other person is like, oh no, I've seen you since this, but you were like, okay, this.
I think it was when you all did the salsa.
Yeah, that was 2016 then.
Yeah.
So that was the only year I stayed at the Marriott. So what happened was, I would wake up and have to go to the bathroom or whatever. I remember it being like one time it was 2 a.m. The other, maybe the next night it was like 3 or something, maybe even 4 one time. And I can hear the party still going on downstairs. Now I get up to go to do the parade on that Saturday because I'm with the G.I. Joe team for the parade, meaning we got to meet in the Hyatt lobby at like 7 something in the morning. So I'm getting up and I'm walking through. I'm like, okay, so this party stops at some point, but I've never known when that party ends. Like, at what point does it shift over into, okay, this the actual end of the night and everybody gonna go home? Like, it's got to end at some point.
I think the last one is at 5 or 6. I think 5 maybe. Yeah, I want to say maybe the last party because it happens in the Marriott.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I want to say I think it's like 5 a.m. Yeah, it's like the last rave or whatever you want to call it.
But I mean, like just being, there's that area of the Marriott. There's that floor, that one floor of the Marriott where, like, if you need to be seen, if you're trying to show off your new cosplay, or you're just trying to if you're just trying to be seen, that's where you go. I'm like, people are still there, or like at the the loft. What's the name of that loft?
The A-loft. The little rooftop. I call it the indoor rooftop.
Yes, so there, and then that main floor, I'm like, that there's that nonstop unofficial party. So I'm just like, that fades at some point, but I just never knew when the fade happened.
Yeah, I want to say the final party happens, or it ends at maybe 5 or something like that. I don't know, because I will probably never know because I am not going to do it. But
Like,
yeah, it's pretty late, like, or early actually. It's pretty early.
Right. So it's funny you mentioned how you stopped going to Pride and was like, look, F that, I'm going to Dragon Con now. That same exact thing happened to me with salsa congresses. I'm pretty sure, you know, Maya has told you about how salsa congresses go. 2012 was the year that I started cosplaying, and the last year that I have gone to a legit large scale salsa congress. Like, I think I went to one in LA earlier that year. I went to one in Miami, and I went to a big salsa retreat. And I've been procrastinating with Dragon Con because, like, there was always some event that same weekend. It was either San Diego Salsa Festival or New York Salsa Congress. So about 4 years of me procrastinating before I actually stopped to go. I actually should have gone like in 2008, 2009, something like that. But yeah, at one of my salsa friends who also goes to Dragon Con, she said, yeah, you're going to stop going to salsa congresses and start going to comic conventions. I'm like, yeah, that ain't finna happen. Here we are.
I kind of was the same way. Like, I stopped for a while, my travel was because I was going to a convention. I had made in my mind a bucket list of conventions I wanted to check out. And so, like, me, Maya, and Aaliyah have gone to SuperCon, but that was for Spartacus. We've done Spartacon. I've gone to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sure you know Rain. We decided to go to New York Comic-Con. So it for a while for me, it just was all about like, okay, if I'm going to go and spend however much money to be somewhere, let it be a convention going on. Right. However, it's just nothing like Dragon Con. You know, there isn't a convention period that gives me that feeling. Like, I went to San Diego, and the year that I went to San Diego, it was because, don't talk bad about me, okay? I went because it was the final Twilight panel, and I was like, I am going because it's the final one, and I'm doing it. And it was fun, but it was like, oh, it's over at 6? Like, so what am I supposed to do with the rest of the night? Like, and if you're not a VIP or on some kind of special list, you're not going to get into any of the industry parties. So it was like, well, at Dragon Con, everybody's a VIP. I'm sure there probably are some, exclusive hush-hush parties we don't know about, but I've been at parties at Dragon Con and seen celebrities like out having a good time. And, we've hung out with celebrities. Like, we'll meet a celebrity and then hang out with them later on that night. And that just doesn't happen at the New York Comic-Cons and in San Diego and things like that. There's definitely not that sense of camaraderie. It's more like everybody's on their own, like, get in line, camp out all night, get into the panel, stay in the panel all day, and then go home. That's it. Yeah, so it's definitely different. I will say the one thing I did love about San Diego was the free swag. Like, HBO likes to give away a lot of free stuff. But outside of that, I was like, okay, I haven't done it since. That was the first year and my last year. Yeah. So I wasn't impressed.
Gotcha. So what makes a convention for you? Like, what is it like? You go to a convention and you leave feeling like you got what you came for. What is that thing that you came for?
It really depends on what I'm going for. So, for example, with New York Comic-Con, I was going because I love Sons of Anarchy. Okay. I love it. And Theo Rossi, who played Juice and also played Shades on Luke Cage, was going to be there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to New York Comic Con because I knew the main reason I was going was because I wanted to meet Theo Rossi. And then Ryan Hurst was there too, who played Opie. And I was like, okay, I'm going to this. San Diego again was because final Twilight panel, I'm going to see this. And then I also wanted to see the Game of Thrones panel. I wanted to experience the mecca of Comic-Cons, which of course is San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. But overall now, I'm either going because there's somebody specifically that I want to meet, or I'm just like, I want to wear this costume. Honestly, no, to be totally honest, any other con that I go to is because it's somebody I want to.
Gotcha.
The only con I go to just because it's fun is Dragon Con.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? That
when I go just to hang out.
Gotcha. And I feel like that's the same thing for me too. Like, I have never, aside from, actually, I think that same year, 2016, that was the only panel I went to. It was actually a voice, because I've been procrastinating with this forever. People keep telling me I need to get into voice acting, or you need to be a radio voice or something. So there was a guy who did, I think Dino Andrade, if I'm pronouncing his name right, done a ton of voice acting stuff. In 2015, he had a voiceover acting workshop, and I missed it because it was on a Thursday morning, and I was only taking off Friday, and then we had Labor Day and taking off Tuesday. So I was like, dang, I need to take off Thursday next year. So I was like, next year, taking off Thursday so I can go to this panel. Other than that, I've never done a panel at Dragon Con. Just like you said with San Diego Comic Con, you got to get in the lines, you sit, you camp out. I ain't about that line life. Like, I get in line once to get into the convention, and that's it. Because I have FOMO so bad. I feel like I'm going to miss something by sitting in a line for an hour and then sitting in a panel for an hour, or however long you got to be in there for. But yeah, like for me, Dragon Con is like, I just enjoy seeing other people in crazy costumes and being in a crazy costume myself. So like that really makes it for me. So like that, like you said, like it's just the fun of being there, and that's it. That's what I get out of it.
I will say, now see, with San Diego, it's not just about sitting in line. It is, you're in that room for the day. Because, for example, Twilight was the first panel of the day. Then Game of Thrones, or no, actually the Marvel stuff was like the last of the day. So there is no emptying the room and coming back in.
Ooh, okay.
So once you're in like Hall H or Ballroom 20, it's like you're in there for the day. So another panel I wanted to attend was the True Blood panel. And that was in Ballroom 20. Excuse me about my nose. It's like acting crazy there.
Oh, you're fine.
It was in Ballroom 20. So I had to get there that morning, camp out. I want to say I got there maybe around 5 or 6 in the morning. Stayed until they opened. The first panel, it was a bunch of stuff I didn't care about, but I actually ended up having a great time. It was like the animation. So it was Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy. It was one other one. What's another one of Steph MacFarlane? Cleveland Show.
Yes.
So it was all of those back to back. So I had to sit through all those first. Then it was Vampire Diaries. And then finally, at the end of the day, it was True Blood. So in order for me to see True Blood, I had to spend my entire day in this panel, or else, because if you get leave and you don't get back by a specific time, they're not even going to let you back in.
Wow.
So it's kind of like you got to stay in there for that. So I was like, I don't want to do this ever again.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get to do, because while I'm sitting here waiting to see True Blood, I missed the Boondocks.
Ooh.
Right. And I was like, no, like I was so angry. I missed Black Dynamite, the cartoon.
Oh.
And I was just like, God damn, I'm like missing all these other things because I want to see True Blood so bad. And so I was like, yeah, I did this all wrong. I mean, it was my first year, so I really didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, my friend Jill actually she would leave and then come back. And I was like, how is she doing this? And it's like, oh, you can leave and get back in. But she had a friend to save her seat. So she would leave during the panel and then come back. And I was like, how is she leaving out? And so she would miss things and come back in, and we would find her again. And she was able to ask all the questions she wanted to ask. Like, but she's a pro. San Diego is her thing. Where I'm like, I'll stick with Dragon Con.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I was like, so if you got to be in there the whole time, like, how are you? Like, are you holding it the whole time if you got to go? Like, and I was like, you must have to have a buddy and be like, hey, I'm gonna use the bathroom. You save my seat. Okay, next time I'm gonna sit here. You go. I'll save your seat. Like that I can imagine it's got to be the only way that works.
Well, they have like after each panel, they do have time where like you can get to the bathroom and stuff. But if you leave your seat and you don't have anyone to save it, somebody got your seat. Like it is people, because when people do leave out, like let's say you got there late. Some people came for, I don't know, Family Guy. Once Family Guy's over, they decide to leave. So if you see somebody leave after Family Guy, you have a couple minutes there to dart up to the front to get a better seat because they left. So, and then after however many people leave, they can then let other people enter who have been waiting outside in line who didn't get in the first place. When it comes to like the majors, like the Game of Thrones, the Marvels, that's, you know, the infamous Hall H that everybody talks about. If you don't get in there, you're gonna miss the big announcements. Right. So it's a whole thing, and it can be a little stressful. Yeah, people go there, and I feel like they go for a specific reason. They're the people who are the people who are going just for collectibles. They're going because they're trying to get that Funko Pop that you can only get here. And then you have the other people who are going because they're trying to go to a panel, or they want to hear all the exclusive announcements and get the free swag that they give away during the panels. You just kind of got to figure out what you're going for.
Wow.
But with Dragon Con, you don't have that issue because you can walk in, you know, the artist, in the alley, what is it called? Celebrity Row or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can walk in there and just walk up to whoever you want to walk up to. It's not, you don't run into the issues of having to, you know, hope that you get a ticket in a raffle so that you can get something signed by a celebrity. Like, if I want something signed, I'm going to go in there and see whatever. Right.
Wow.
So, yeah, it is definitely a difference.
Dang. All right, so I want to backtrack to something you said earlier, because I think you answered something I was going to ask you anyway. Like, one thing I like doing with these interviews is, you know how people feel about us geeks. You know, there's those myths and misconceptions that we all are irresponsible, we not productive, we all mama's basement dwellers and all that kind of stuff. I like getting to know what people do outside of our geekery, so that way some people who might be watching can see and be like, you know what? Yes, there are some geeks who fit those stereotypes, but there's so many of us that don't. So you are an author, correct? I
am an author / almost TV writer.
Almost.
Gotcha. Yeah, I won a contest with BET and Issa Rae's Productions, actually Color Creative, where my pilot was produced by BET. That was the year that I missed Dragon Con, actually. So that was 2019. Yeah, so I have one TV show as far as the pilot was produced. I am currently working to try to get into a writer's room, so I'm making the transition from books to film and TV.
Gotcha. Now, what kind of writing do you do with your books? I
write like slutty novels. Yeah, that's the best way I call it. Like slutty lesbian novels. No, for real, it's contemporary fiction about that. With the subject is mostly about lesbians. Gotcha.
So, I guess it would be safe to assume that representation is a representation. Not to sound super cliche, but representation matters to you.
Oh, very much so. I'm Black. I'm fat, and I am whatever you wish to call me, everything else. So I personally, anything I write or do, I try to be as inclusive as possible. One of the big things that I'm advocating right now is body positivity, not in the sense that some people take it where it's just a little extreme. I am more about, okay, we're big girls, we live regular life, I have fun, I have sex, I have friends. I'm not sitting here, I'm not Kate from This Is Us. I'm not sitting here like, woe is me because I'm, fat or whatever. So for me, I want to create things right now that show plus size women and plus size men in the light of, hey, we are just like everybody else. We do stupid things. We also do great things. So that's kind of where I am. I did the same thing with my books. I really wanted to show Black lesbian women, just there's nothing different about us. From our relationships are just as complex and crazy sometimes. Sometimes there's drama, sometimes there's love, everything in between. And I just wanted to show it like in a very realistic light. And I do the same thing with pretty much anything I write. I want to make sure whenever I eventually write my story about Dragon Con or about being a nerd, it's going to be the same thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad that you hit all of that, because there's, you got your people who will try to downplay representation, saying that it doesn't matter, or they think it's agendas being pushed. When you mention, just showing off all the different facets of plus sized people and everything. Like, I'm pretty sure you've seen people say, what am I looking for? They'll throw out the whole promoting obesity or promoting lack of health kind of thing. And I'm just like, that really is just fat phobia, really. Like, it's almost as if people are trying to say that only certain size people get to have fun and get to be seen having said fun. Like, if you dare to be visible and you above a size whatever, then you need to not be on a screen or on a page or not be seen doing it. And I'm just like, that's not a realistic or fair expectation of that. Like you said, I live regular lives like everybody else.
It is. I've had some situations where, I hang out at Dragon Con with some very attractive people. Mm-hmm. Our group of people are attractive.
Yeah.
This. Yeah. I've had situations where I've been cropped out of photos. Ooh. Like, they might have taken pictures of, whoever I'm with, and I get cropped out and they're, in the picture. I've had situations where people have made really bad comments about me, like, oh, well, she doesn't look like the character, or that's the worst character representation I've ever seen. And I just let it, it doesn't bother me. Like, the cropping me out of the picture did bother me, but in the end, I know, it's not, especially representation already for Black individuals. We only have a handful that we can do that are actually Black.
Right.
And then, add fat on top of that. So it's like, I have Mama Odie from Princess and the Frog. Is that really my only option here? So instead, I'm going to do Ilaria Sand from Game of Thrones, or I'm going to do, Lucretia from Spartacus. And people may not get it at first, or may be like, what is she doing? But I'm doing what I want to do. So
right.
Have fun with it.
Exactly. Now I will say, you, because I don't want to pigeonhole you by saying this, but when you did Consuela, you had me on the.
Okay, so Consuela is like my favorite costume.
Feel that.
It's simple.
Yeah.
But I just love, like, especially at Dragon Con, because this is so bad, and I mean, you might censor me on this, but I like to walk around and like feel on people and act like I'm cleaning them. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna feel on somebody.
I got that picture of you doing that to Leah when she was in her Chun-Li.
Oh yeah.
I clean.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean all the hot people that walk by me. I'm gonna clean you. So it is what it is. But that's like my favorite. That was like, because for a while I was like, I can't think of a costume I can do that. Because in the beginning, honestly, I was trying to think, okay, what can I do that's I'm gonna actually look like that character? Like, I want to make sure I try to be as authentic as possible. And it really wasn't any options for me. And I remember sitting up at like 2:00 in the morning, and Family Guy was on, and it was one of the episodes where he had called her, and she answered the phone, and she kept like, oh no. And I was like, I'm gonna be Consuela. And it was easy. Like, and that's another thing. Like, I've gotten to the point now, because I'm old, as much as I love the elaborate cosplays, my simple cosplays are the ones that are so comfortable, but people are like, oh my God, we love her. Consuela, my Sadness and Consuela are like the two easiest costumes I can do, besides putting on the blue makeup. But the outfit itself is so easy that I just have fun. I'm able to be comfortable and have a good time. I can run around and be as silly as I want to be.
Yeah. Yo, and I love that you said that, because I made a video not too long ago about I think I called it no such thing as lazy cosplay, because you got so many people out there who think, oh well, it has to be a go hard or go big or go home kind of thing. Like, oh, you didn't put much effort into that, you look like you didn't try. I'm like, why do I need to try? Why does somebody need to try? Like, I will say this till I'm every shade of blue in the face. We do this for us first. Just like you said, you do this because it's fun for you. You do this because you want to be silly, you go around, be silly and have fun and act a fool. Like same here. Like I think there's too much emphasis put on, oh, you got to do all of this, you got to do all of that. And it's just like, no, whatever that person felt like doing, whatever makes that person happy, that's what it's all about. And that's another reason why I feel like y'all at home, y'all probably tired of hearing me talk about Dragon Con. I feel like I talk about it every other video, but as you said, like, it's where you really just walk in and it's just fun, just plain fun. And I think that's what from the jump had me not thinking inside the box when it comes to costumes. Is like going to Dragon Con, I got to see not just the super accurate and the super elaborate, but also the ridiculous and the funny, the oh my god, did he really just do that? Like all of that stuff.
I love the mashups. Like I love it when I saw somebody as like Tony John Stark, and it was like, okay, so you're in the Winterfell outfit with the Tony Stark. I'm like, okay, I like that. Yeah, I enjoy when people. It was one of the black photo shoot. It was like the the Black Dragon Con group photo shoot, and a white woman showed up dressed up as Barbecue Becky, and she had her phone. It was so simple, but it was so perfect at the same time.
And it fit, because like, I mean, that was the big thing that year. Mm-hmm. And even before she showed up, I'm thinking it would be really dope if somebody dressed up as her and tried to crash the shoot. And sure enough, like a few moments after I had that thought, there she is. It's crazy, you know. That sort of some controversy, because there were some people who felt like it wasn't funny, and I get it. Like I
thought it was hilarious.
I'm not trying to rain on the parade of people who didn't think it was funny, because like I get why, but I was just like, to me, it was whoever did that was making fun of that woman, because I seriously believe that the woman who did that, she does not stand for what the real person stands for. Like she did that, and
she wasn't trying to take over. Like she took a couple pictures and then she moved out the way.
Exactly.
It was still, we were able to do what we came to do, but she, came there, took a couple pictures, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go do what I can do.
Right.
But it was perfect. I thought it was like, that was one of those moments where I was just like, God damn it, I love this place. Right. Like, it was just,
did that just happen? Did that just happen?
Right. Yeah. And other conventions don't, I get a lot of that too of, oh, you talk about Dragon Con all the time. But I'm like, honestly, New York and San Diego is not, I wasn't seeing, again, coming from Dragon Con, and I got there and I was like, I don't see all the costumes. Where are the costumes at? And it's like, because people, there are some people in costumes, but most people are just in jeans and a nerdy t-shirt, because again, they're camping out all day. So they're not showing off their costumes. And it's mainly about the costume contest, where I have never been to one of the costume contests at Dragon Con. I'm pretty sure they're great. Never been. But I don't need to go, because I can see like 90% of the crowd is in costumes, where it's not the same. You will have people in costumes, but the majority of people, like, I've yet to wear a cosplay, except for to SuperCon, because we did the Spartacus thing. But every other con I've gone to, I've never worn a costume.
It's funny you mentioned the costume contest too. Like I've gone to one at a very small con, and it was in Alabama somewhere. It was River Region Comic Con, I believe. I just barely remembered it like just now, but but yeah, it was small enough to where I felt like, okay, I'm not going to miss anything else by going to this. So I went to it, and I think I've been in two for like really small first time events that were not even at cons, which is the only reason I won, because like really ain't nobody show up. And I really just won money and my money immediately went to paying for Dragon Con. That's it. You know, like
yeah.
I felt bad for winning too, because I was just like, hey, the first one, I don't even think 30 people showed up to the event, period. So I was one of like five. Was that?
That's Memphis. It's like 100 people here.
Right. So I was one of 5 people maybe that entered the contest. And I looked around, I was just like, and not even out of any arrogance, not out of me thinking I'm the ish or whatever. I was just like, yeah, I think I got this, but I feel bad for the fact that I got this because ain't nobody else really here.
Well, I have that issue at Halloween. At work, people would like expect me to show up
every daggum time,
right, in full costume glory, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm all right. I'll see you. You know, whatever. Not doing it. I have won costume contests at work because, again, I'm gonna do sadness and put the blue on, and people are just like, whoa, look at her, because they're Party City, which is nothing wrong with that, but
exactly, yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go ahead and show up in something. But then I also know at work, nobody's gonna get half of the things that I'm doing, and I can't. So I'm not gonna use any of my Dragon Con cosplays at work because no one's gonna. I can't wear a Laria Sand. Period. Like, it's not appropriate. My Consuela, people will just think I'm a maid. I don't know if some people will get it, some won't. Sadness, they thought I was a Smurf. Whatever, just give me my money. Like, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just nobody gets it. But Halloween is kind of the same thing. Like, okay, I'll throw something. Let me go in my bin of costumes and figure something out real quick. But I'm not putting in the work that I put in to get ready for Dragon Con just to
I got the same conundrum there, because it's like, they know you're a cosplayer, so they expect you to come with it. And then my thing is, and I mean, I don't do this for clout, this is just how I am. I don't go for a lot of the popular costumes or characters. I don't have not one costume that if I put it on, I can walk into a regular civilian party and the vast majority of people are gonna know who I am. Like maybe Snake Eyes, maybe my Black Panther, but it's not a canon version of Black Panther. It's like mixed with, it's like a wrestler. Black Panther is a luchador wrestler.
Wait, didn't you do Django?
Yeah, and even that, it's like I've done that one before, but I still end up having to explain who I am.
That's crazy. I would think everybody would know that.
Because I'm Django Unchained from the neck down, Django Fett from the neck up. So it's just like, just like you said, putting in all that work to go to a party where you're going to have to explain who you are to like 90% of people. And I'm like, I didn't put all this on for y'all to, and normally I'm not about being recognized. Like, if I like my costume and I go to Dragon Con or whatever other con, I don't care if you don't know who I am. I like what I did. But if I'm going to a costume party, it's a little bit of a different vibe. And like everybody is being recognized by something. It's not the lack of recognition. It's more of I got to explain to everybody who I am. And I'm just like, I'm not interested in doing that for the entirety of the time that I'm here.
Typically, I'll wear Consuela to Halloween events because she's easy.
Yeah.
And so I'll wear Consuela and people don't know who I am, but then there'll be that one that's like, are you Consuela? And I'm like, see, and they're like, and then they freak out. So it's like, but it's, I've yet to really, besides Harry Potter, like I've yet to really, maybe I'll dress up this year for Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had on a costume in a while, so I might just figure something out.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna circle back to cosplaying for a second. You mentioned having to go through the whole, oh well, you don't fit this character, you don't like look like this character, all that kind of stuff. You know, I tell people all the time that cosplay is not actually a lookalike contest. It's not a it's not a movie audition. Outside of that, what do you think is something that, forget how I usually phrase this question, what's something else that you would want people who are outside of cosplay, what's something that you wish they knew or wish they understood more about it?
I kind of feel like now that geek culture is so mainstream, and again, this is probably going to ruffle feathers, but I think that people mistake putting on a costume for cosplay. And I get it that if you literally need to go to Party City and get a costume and you want to cosplay, great. If that's all you can do, or if that's all you want to do, that's fine. Again, my first cosplay was so ridiculous. It wasn't anything, but I felt really special in it because I was like, I'm doing something with people who understand me and get it, and we're all here having a good time. I kind of feel like cosplay is like a lifestyle almost, and not just, I decided to put a costume on today. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me, cosplay is actually kind of more incorporating the spirit of that character. It's more, not necessarily having to be completely on 24/7, but I just feel like it's a little more to it than just, again, I decided to put a costume on, so now I'm a cosplayer. Like I want there to be a little more respect behind it, because a lot of cosplayers really put their heart and soul into what they're doing, and I don't want it to become too trivial where it's like, oh well, I can do the same thing. And it's like, you can, but if you're gonna do it, like, want to really do it. Don't just do it because you think it's like, oh, Black Panther came out, so this is what I'm doing. Like, and honestly, take that. I'm gonna go back to Black Panther. Black Panther to me was such an experience, because me dressing up to go to a movie was nothing new. I do it. Like, I've done it for Harry Potter. I'm gonna do it. Seeing my regular people be like, I'm dressing up as Zamunda, or I'm doing this. I'm like, y'all realize y'all doing what I do that you've been talking crazy about me. Yeah. Now you want to do the same thing. So that was always interesting to me. Just a side note.
Yeah, and it's like I have so much mixed feelings about that too, because like on one hand, I'm glad that it's bringing in people, one, to that fandom, two, to geekery in general, three, that it's also letting other Black people know that it is safe for y'all. It is okay. Sometimes it ain't safe. Like, we trying to make it safe.
It's not
always safe. It should be. It should be, but it ain't always. But letting the closet Black geeks that like we said, they know that it ain't safe, so that's why they ain't really came out the geek closet yet. Let them know that it's safe to do it. But then also, and yes, sometimes it becomes this, oh, it's popular, so I'm going to be in it, which I ain't got no problem with. But I think where I start having mixed feelings about it is when the newcomers come in and they try to change the game.
Right.
Come in and try to run things. Like, for example, I mentioned in a couple of interviews ago, like, there's, you got the influencers or like the makeup artists, the influencers and all this that get into it. By all means, come in, take part in this. But then you got, like, there was this one guy who got mad. I think he cosplayed as Danny Phantom or something. And he got mad at another cosplayer, cosplayed him too, and did the same pose. I was like, bro, if you had been here, you would know that everybody and their mama cosplayed Danny Phantom. And anybody who cosplays Danny Phantom probably does that same pose. That does not belong to you.
I think it's the commercialization of it, because everything now is like, how can I make money at it? And it's fine. There are some cosplayers who make a whole lot of money being cosplayers, and I get it. And I think that the problem is that once a few of them start making, it's like with anything, like a few people are making the money at it, so now everybody wants to make money at it.
Yeah.
Where for me and the people I know, it's like, I have friends that easily could be social media cosplayer influencers if they want to be.
Right.
But they're doing it because they just like to have fun. So I do miss that a little bit. The people who are literally having a good time with it, which is again another reason why I love Dragon Con. Although there are the people at Dragon Con who literally put their costume on so they can stand in a spot and get as many pictures taken of them as possible.
Yeah.
But there's also the people who are literally, they're having fun. We're gonna do a meetup. We're gonna all dress as, Steven Universe and show up for a meetup or whatever. Yeah. So that's the thing that I like.
Yeah. It was funny you mentioned the money aspect. Taking it back to Black Panther again. So a few months later, Infinity War came out, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then they threw us a curveball because I'm sitting here thinking, from everything that I know from the movies, everything that I know from the comics, everything that I know from that storyline in the comics, I'm thinking, okay. And also the fact that certain people's contracts was about to be out. I'm like, wait, this person finna die, this person finna die, all these people finna die. They threw me a complete curveball, and everybody who I thought was safe wasn't, and everybody who I thought was gone survived. But I know, being the comic fan I am, I'm like, okay, they're all gonna get brought back somehow based on this storyline. So of course, you got the people who were never into this in the first place, who came in because of Black Panther, pissed off because Black Panther's dead.
Right.
I see a guy that, I didn't unfriend him over this, but it's something else afterwards. I was just like, okay, I'm done with you. A former friend of mine posted this thing, and he didn't make this up, but he reposted it, and it was a Marvel logo, and hashtag boycott Black Panther, hashtag no more black dollars. Because there were people who felt lied to. There were people who felt that they released Black Panther for the purpose of sucking in black people into being a fan of the MCU, and they killed off the character that it came for.
Let me tell you, I saw so much ridiculousness before Black Panther. I saw one guy on my page do a whole essay on not going to see Black Panther because it's not about the Black Panther Party. And I was like, is this I literally had to, is this a joke? Like, are you really not, are you for real?
Y'all at home know. Just y'all at home know. In case there's any doubt, Black Panther, the character, predates the Black Panther Party. Now, it's close, but he predates them by at least a couple of months. Okay. But yeah, I saw that something similar too. One of my friends, he's a cosplayer as well. He lives in Columbus, Georgia. He organized like a fundraiser to take a whole bunch of young kids, underprivileged kids, to see Black Panther. And some melanin lacking woman had the nerve to be like, wow, I don't approve of this, you guys taking them to see a movie about the Black Panthers. First of all, y'all don't know your history about the Black Panthers. They ain't what a lot of people say they are. Incorrectly saying that they're like the Black KKK when they're so not. Second of all, right. Get your facts right. It ain't about the Black Panthers. It's about the Black Panther. So yeah, it was all the ridiculousness of people who weren't actually in on it. Now it's okay if that's your introductory to it, or if Black Panther's all you care about, cool. But understand that you ain't been in on this, and so you reacting to stuff that you don't know what you don't know what you're talking about, basically.
I remember when the Black Panther was announced at Comic-Con at San Diego. I was at work. I'm hyped. This is gonna be the biggest movie of all time. Like I'm talking cash shit at work. Like, y'all, this is gonna be the biggest movie of all time. I don't know what you're talking about. My boss and one of my other coworkers, who is kind of a nerd, they're both semi-nerds. Like my boss is a Star Wars guy and the other guy is just kind of an everything nerd. But they were like, man, this isn't gonna be, it's not gonna be Iron Man. I was like, oh, let's go ahead and make this bet now. Like, and this is, again, first announcement. So we don't have a trailer, we don't have anything. First trailer drops, and they just kind of were like, because I made a bet. I was like, okay, so if I'm right and this beats everything, Avengers, it's going to beat Avengers, it's going to be Iron Man, you all have to buy me Funko Pops that I want. I'm just telling you that now. And they were like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
I was like, how much money did you win? No.
I actually got Funko. They bought me Funko Pops. So I was like, okay, I think my boss had to buy me, they each had to buy me a Keem and Simi. And so they gave me the money to get a Keem and Simi. But I was like, yeah, that first trailer dropped and I was like, okay, you still want to keep this bet? Because I mean, it's here. I'm giving you the chance to get out. I'm like, no, it looks great, but it's not going to beat them. It's not going to be. I was like, okay. And then the second trailer dropped and it was over. They were like, yeah, it's gonna beat it. And I was like, yeah, it is. Yeah. I knew it. And I was like, because we've been needing this. And I was like, this is it. It is my time. Like at work, don't nobody say nothing to me because I'm the nerd of the call center. Don't come asking me questions. I'm not going to answer them. Do not ask me what's the Marvel list that you need to watch before Black Panther. Look it up on Google. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. Leave me alone. In fact, I'm going out of town to watch it because I'm not going to watch it here with you all. So I was actually in California to see it for the first time.
Yo, you just reminded me of I wish I could say it verbatim because it was so hilarious, but someone had basically posted the equivalent of like a doctor's note, but you were going to taking off work to see Black Panther, and basically like just giving a work excuse. And it was, like I said, I'm not going to do it justice trying to describe it, but if you would see it, it's hilarious. It's the most
black.
Yeah, I'm trying not to, but yes.
That's black. Well, for me, I have a calendar on my wall. So luckily Black Panther came out like it was Valentine's Day weekend. Yeah. I was going to see Bruno Mars in Vegas. And my girlfriend was like, hey, well, since you're seeing Bruno Mars, why don't you, fly on over to San Diego and come see Black Panther on opening night in 3DX. And I was like, what is 4D or 4DX or something? I was like, well, what is this? I'm in Memphis. We don't have that. And she was like, oh, it's where the chairs move. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, like the chairs will move and, wind to hit you. And so I was like, okay, yes. So I changed my flight. And so I put on my calendar at work because whenever I leave town, I'm like, gone to Dubai, don't call me. Like I literally look it up. I ain't doing shit. Right. So on my calendar, it was marked out. It was like Bruno Mars, Black Panther. Just that line. Like, this is where you want to know where I am. Don't ask me to come to work because the answer is no, I won't be here. And so I saw it I went opening night. We dressed up in our, very simple Wakanda face and a Black Panther shirt. And we saw it in this, and my chair is just like, I'm like moving all over the place. Every time somebody gets shot, I'm feeling like air hitting me. I was like, wait, this is sensory overload. So as soon as I got home, I went and saw it like 3 more times. I ended up seeing it in every format. I saw it 4DX, 3D, standard. Like I was seeing it in every format I could see it.
Gotcha. Yo, that Black Panther was so good that my non-geeky wife, what little bit she knows about comics, she knows just from osmosis. I know I'm not using the proper word when I say osmosis, but I ain't the only person who does that. Anyway, she knows anything geeky like that. She knows about it from me and me talking her ear off about it because, she loves me and she lets me talk her ear off about it. Anyway, we went, date night. Dropped our oldest was maybe a couple months old by then. Oh, no. This was 2018, right? She was one and some change. So we had gotten tickets for Christmas. Our aunt who bought them for us, she agreed to babysit and dropped her off. We went. When I tell you that my non-MCU fan, my non-geeky wife wanted to see it again in the theaters without prompting from me, she wanted to see it again. We didn't end up going again, but she was like, "Hey, I want to see this again." I'm like, "You sure? Okay."
And see, for me, I was used to not going to anything with people. Like I would go when Harry Potter came out. I went by myself. I do.
And I say for Harry Potter, but I see stuff by myself.
Yeah, like I saw that by myself. I did have friends that liked Twilight, so we went to that together. But mostly, like especially Harry Potter, I went to all the Harry Potters by myself. But Black Panther was like the first movie where my friends were like, "So we doing a meetup? Like, how does this work? Like, what do we do?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, I need to put a little PSA out there." So I ended up putting on my Facebook page, "Dear people who have never seen a Marvel movie, these are the rules." And I had to. It was not Black Panther. It was Avengers, the final Avengers. What is it?
Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame.
Yeah.
Had some friends who were like, "We're all gonna go." One friend in particular does not know how to not talk in a movie. Like he's like, "I'm gonna talk. You're just gonna have to deal with it." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not going."
No. You ain't coming with me. Okay.
Right. I'm not going with you. So instead, which they don't know until they watch this, they'll find out. I went to the midnight showing by myself, and then the next day was like, "Hey, let's go." Like I had already, and I just sat in the movie like, like I didn't know what was happening, but I was like, "Yeah, I went to the midnight by myself," because at least I knew at the midnight it was going to be me with my fellow diehards, and I don't have to worry about people who know nothing or are just jumping on the train and gonna ask a million questions, and I didn't have to deal with any of that.
Man, see that reminds me of like you ever had friends who, when it comes to Marvel movies, and it may have been, Endgame, may have been something else, but something else deeper down the line, and they're like they want to get in on it, but then they also start asking, because they want to ask you all these questions, and but they don't want to invest. They don't want to. Well, do I have to watch all the movies? Can I skip this one? Can I skip that one? I'm like, no. Either you're gonna get in, or you're not gonna get it. Like, I'm not going to advise you. Oh, skip this, skip that. Like, if you're gonna dive in. Like, go and jump in the deep end. Like, come on.
I've had people on Facebook try that with me. Luckily, I now have a good group of friends. My regular friends that are here, they've gotten kind of used. The Marvel is the thing they'll do.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to go to Twilight. They're not going to go to Harry Potter. They didn't go to 50 Shades. Yes, I saw 50 Shades. But they're not going to do any of those. But they will, Marvel is the thing. Or DC. I have one friend who's really into DC. But I've had multiple people that are kind of like, "Well, why don't you just tell me what's gonna happen so I can be ready?" And I'm like, there's this wonderful thing called Google. It'll help you. Trust me. Make it your friend. Like,
yes, it is free.
Everything you need to know. It's free. It's literally free.
Me.
I mean, you can even push a button on your phone, and they will say, "Hey, what are the movies?" It'll tell you. It's so simple. And so I'm not explaining anything. Like, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I am not the diehard nerd. I have not read all the comics. I cannot tell you when the first appearance of, Spider-Man was in the what. I can't do that.
Right.
But film and TV is my thing. So I'm going to watch all the movies. I'm going to know from there. I will go see a movie and then say, okay, well, I need to go find a comic for this because I want to know more. So I have done that. Same. But I'm still very relatively new to comics. I'm new to anime. Like I'm new to these things, but I do have a love for them at the same time. So if I want to know something, I'm going to figure it out.
Same. Yeah. And like, I'm glad to explain it to people, but don't try to do it while we're in the movie. I will I do, just like I tell my daughter, we'll be watching, Daddy, what's the, I'm like, girl, if you just actually watch and listen, your question is about to get answered. If you pay attention, and now again, I'm talking to the adults now, if you just pay attention instead of trying to ask me, your question is about to get answered. If you ask me a question while we're in the movie, I will say, I don't know. Even if it's a movie I've seen, I will act like it's my first time seeing it, and I'll be like, I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm not. That's why I typically will just go by myself. Like, I might go again with y'all.
Yes,
but I'm gonna go by myself for the first time. Like, I'm not doing this.
I don't wait on people. Don't hit me with that. Oh, so no invite? Yeah, no invite, because I don't make moves based on. I don't explain my moves to y'all. And
like with Avengers, with Endgame, it was a situation of, okay, y'all, we need to get our tickets the moment they go on sale, or they won't have anymore.
Yes.
And because it was a group, it was like, oh well, I'm not gonna be able to get it until this day, or I'll get it when it, whenever I get to it. And I'm like, okay, well, I got my midnight showing, and so. Right. The reason they ended up not going to the first day was because people weren't ready. The first day sold out. I mean, I had my ticket.
Right.
I didn't know about them. And now all of our theaters are being transformed to the nice, you have the reserved seating. So I was like, if we're trying to go, we have to get these at the same time. This is not I can buy this now and then you can buy it tomorrow. You need to be buying it at the same time I am. Or you need to send me money so we can get it together. But so I'm gonna have what I need. I don't know about y'all. I will tell you where I'm gonna be. If you show up, great. If not, and I do travel the same way. I'm like, hey guys, I'm going here. So if you want to come, feel free. However, I'm going, whether you're there or not.
Yeah, that's what I had to do my early days salsa dancing, because the first few times, and me being an introvert, like, and plus I'm, what I want to say, you try something out for the first time, and you're a little apprehensive, the little fear sets in, but I loved it enough to start going by myself, and I had to go by myself because anytime I invited people, slowly but surely, they start flaking, and then the day of, it's just me. And I started to realize if I always waited on other people to go with me, I'd never go. So
yeah, I luckily finally have some friends that are like, okay, we're going, let's do it. For a long time, I did not have those. And again, I went to San Diego Comic-Con by myself. I went to Dallas Fan Days by myself. I went to my first few Dragon Cons. Technically, I was by myself. I didn't meet people. But now I do have a good group where, I can call up Rain or somebody and be like, hey, so you want to go to New York? Like, even with that, I planned New York by myself. And then Rain was like, oh, I'm going to come. And I was like, all right, you can stay in my room. Like, it's kind of that situation where it's like, okay, well, I want to do this, so I'm going to go. And then I'm out posting on Facebook, and then somebody else will be like, oh, well, I would like to come too. Okay. So, but no, I typically do things by myself. And
yeah. I'm with you. All right, wrap this up. A couple little spitfire questions for you.
Okay.
Of all your fandoms that you love,
okay,
if you had to live in any of those universes, well, which one would it be?
Probably Harry Potter with, Hogwarts and magic.
Gotcha. If you can take one of your books that you've written and this one, and make this one blow up and become a bestseller, which one would you want to be a bestseller?
My first one. My first book, Choices. That's the one that I, currently am trying to turn into a television show. It is, yeah, definitely that's my baby. The rest of them I love, but it's nothing like the first.
Gotcha. And what's the title of this one? So for everybody at home.
Oh, it's called Choices.
Choices. Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right, you got a blank check, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to spend it on a costume. What are you making with it? So like skill and time are not an issue. You got the money. to commission it. You got the money to do whatever. But you have to spend, you can write it for whatever amount, but you got to spend it on one costume.
I think it's not going to be too difficult, but I'm going to go back to probably the first semi-nerdy thing that I fell in love with, which was Xena the Warrior Princess. Like that would have to probably, because I just, that was the first thing that I ever watched that I was just like, oh my God, outside of a different world, because different world changed my life. But the first like fantasy type thing that I was just like, what is this? I'm addicted. I need more. And of course, you know, fell in love with Lucy Lawless. And then of course, so the way I say it, and when I met her, I was like, you were my childhood. You were my childhood with Xena. And now you're my adulthood with Lucretia and Spartacus. So I'm good. Like, I don't need anything else.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to promote? Anything you got coming up?
I'm single. No. Kidding. Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not, but you know, no, I'm good. Like, I'm happy to have done this. I'm probably going to come to your house and steal everything on your wall. Just don't let me in your house, because I'm from Memphis. You know, we a little crazy.
Yeah. You know, I didn't realize I've been to Memphis once to visit some cousins of mine. It wasn't until then that I realized how far west Memphis actually is. It's like in the bottom west corner of Tennessee. I was like, oh, that's way over there.
I mean, it's not crazy from Atlanta. Well, for me, it's nothing. Like, you know, 5.5 hours is an easy drive for me. Like, Atlanta's my second home. But yeah, you know, in fact, for a long time, the only place I was going was like Memphis. I'm going to Atlanta for the weekend. Like, that's our thing. We're going to Atlanta for the weekend.
Hey, there you go.
But yeah, no, I will steal everything. No, I'm kidding. I won't steal it. I mean, I'll tell you I'm going to steal it.
Right.
I'm not even just taking it.
Well, I guess I should be glad that my Transformers aren't on camera right now, because over this way, it's a whole two glass towers of it. But yeah.
I'm okay with Transformers, but if you got Funko Pops, they're leaving your house. Like, if you got any that I don't have, I have when I was at work, they were sitting at work, but now they're here at home with me. I call it my African connection, which is all Black Panther, all coming to America. And they're lined up together. Some of them I have sitting out because I needed to make the backdrop look kind of decent for you, Skyy. So some of them. And then I have my Coming to America right here, which is my mentor wrote the new Coming to America. He did not write it. He directed the new Coming to America. So he gave me the boxes, the promo boxes they sent out to all the celebrities. My first time getting a swag box. So we have that sitting there. But yeah.
I got just two. I have Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, but he's super glued to my dashboard. So he's just sitting there in the middle of my dashboard with his arms folded.
My ex loves Dragon Ball Z, like since we knew each other. I'm talking about from high school all the way up to now. Loves and Vegeta is his favorite. So that was like the first anime outside of Sailor Moon that I watched.
Gotcha. I got Krillin too, but so I got Krillin so I was thrown a daddy shower. I didn't know that was the thing until I had one. So basically, I don't know if you ever heard of Battle and Brew in Atlanta, but basically all my guy friends took me there. It's a gaming bar basically. So we ate and then we just kind of had fun doing games, whatever. So instead of them buying me a card, they bought me Funko Pop Krillin from Dragon Ball Z, and they all signed the box as opposed to writing in a card. So I gave Krillin to my daughter as a gift. And then we went to visit her godparents in Philadelphia, and we messed up and left her there. And that was late 2018. And okay, I just remembered I need to call her and ask her to send it to me.
Yeah, I don't open any of mine. I don't have a single Funko that's open, except for a fake Michael Jackson that I got from eBay, but it was fake. So, gotcha. But all of my Funkos are in like protective covers in their boxes. I'm not opening any of them. I have one that's now worth about $150. And so people come in like, you got all these little toys, and I was like, they're not toys, they're collectibles. Like,
right, yeah.
Put some respect on my collection.
I said the same thing. My wife said something about my Transformers earlier. Now she respects the hobby, but one thing that irks me about Transformers, I hate when people say, "How do you open it?" You don't open it, you transform it. It's not a box. It's not a thing to open. You transform it. So she said that, and I didn't say that to her in that term. I was like, babe, I'm gonna say this once and I'm gonna let it go. Just so you know, it irks me when people say open and not transform, and that was it.
Our head boss, the HNIC head boss was walking through with some other like head people. He walked by my desk and he was like, this is April. She got all the Pokemon on her desk. And I was like, I don't have a single Pokemon on my desk. And he was like, they look like Pokemon. I was like, they don't look like, I was like, I'm gonna lose my job. Cause he's like, they're not Pokemon, they're Funkos. Like, get it right, it's a pop, it's an action figure. And he's like, okay, yeah, they're Pokemon. And I was like, but then all the other guys are like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, and then, oh, you met Jason Momoa. And it's like, okay, yeah. Now you want to look at my collection.
That's like when your mom or like an auntie or some older relative never calls your game console by its actual name. It's either a Nintendo, not a Nintendo. It's either a Nintendo or they just call it the game.
The game.
Why you call it that game? Put the game away. I'm like, no, it's not the game. It is we got a console, and there's a game, and it's several individual games that I play. Don't just call it the game. I'm sorry about that. If my wife was here, she would tease me about my I can be very literal sometimes. Like, I'm that person who says, okay, if I knock on your door and you say it's unlocked, I'm sorry. If I knock on your door and you say it's open, yes, I'm going to come through because I know that you really meant that it's unlocked. But I personally refuse to say that the door is open when it's just unlocked. I refuse to call a drink hot when it's just not ice cold. Like, there's levels between cold, ice cold and hot. Like, I don't call it hot unless it's been sitting in the car in the summertime with the windows rolled up hot.
So I know we're supposed to be ending this, but I have a question. So you said your wife's not really a nerd. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Like, how did you guys, like, does she, because I dated somebody for a moment. And they broke up with me because I was in the Comic-Cons and Harry Potter, and they were like, you're into that childish shit.
That's why they're an ex. That's why they're ex.
Yeah, they're an ex. But how, like, now in my life, when I am trying to date, I've actually kind of made it a requirement. Like, I don't want to date somebody that's not a nerd. Like, you don't have to be as, like, I don't need you to be a cosplayer, but I want to at least, because it's so much a part of who I am that I'm like, I don't really want to date a person that's not a nerd in some kind of way, like a geek, whether it's movies or something that we can, have gaming, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Like, so how does that work?
All right, so I know like a lot of us use geek and nerd interchangeably, and I still say it to this day, but I remember, the site OkCupid. Mm-hmm. So I was just on there one day just having fun with the quizzes or whatever, and it actually made the distinction between nerd, geek, and dork, right? Mm-hmm. So, nerdy, they said nerdy is basically somebody who's like super studious, like the person who, your bookworms, the person who had like 5.0 grade point averages in school. They cried if they got a B on a test. They always just all about like academia, right? Mm-hmm. And then geeks were just like, they're obsessed with any one particular subject.
Right.
Like, you could technically say I'm a salsa geek. I might be an MMA geek, but also X-Men, Transformers, Dragon Ball Z geek. And dorks are just socially inept. Mm. Like Steve Urkel is all three, but he's a perfect example of a dork.
Right.
So I say all that to say, I'm the geek, she's the nerd. So she's a space nerd. If she's not asleep, she's on my tablet watching some space thing on Netflix right now. If she's not asleep right now, that's what she's doing. But before we started this, she was watching I think it's a show on Netflix called High on Hogs, I think, and it was basically talking about like the
cuisine, the black cuisine. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm the geek, she's the nerd, but from the jump, she's always respected my hobbies. Like when we first met, I had maybe only been to I'd only been to Dragon Con once. I was just a budding cosplayer at the time. Excuse me, and I was just coming out of my heavy on the Salsa Congress scene phase, right? So I still dance, but I'm just not as heavy in it as before. And one thing I told her, and this is back when we were in, I guess, in our talking phase, I guess. I think I liked her and she liked me at that point, but we didn't know that yet. One thing I told her, and this is a philosophy I've always had when it comes to my hobbies, but this is more so with salsa back then. I'm not going to put salsa before you, but you got to understand salsa was here before you. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to put it in between, and I'm not going to let it come between our relationship, but you got to understand that this was here, it's going to continue to be here.
Right.
And she understood that about dance. She understood that about everything geeky with me. And for the most part, I've been able to not let that not let that interfere. I say for the most part because there are certain times where I did things related to cosplay. I got on her nerves with it in ways that I didn't expect to. Like, for instance, leaving stuff out in the open, but in our shared space, right? So that, or maybe, I joked about talking her ear off about stuff before, and she usually lets me know when she's got to that point. So but it wasn't so much that I was talking about that stuff, but I was doing that while also not asking about the stuff she's interested in. So, but other than those, and I've corrected those things, but other than that, they have never been a problem in a relationship. So she's always respected it. And other than those two little potholes there, I've always done a good job of not like letting it interfere with anything else. And she's always bragged about me as far as like, I take care of home. Like I don't game so much or cosplay so much or do any of my geeky stuff so much that it neglects anything else in the house. Like, I keep the dishes done. I keep I keep this area clean. I keep that area clean. Bills stay paid. Like I don't let that stuff interfere. So that's really how it works out.
Okay. Awesome. Black love. Wait, it is black love. Okay.
Where is? Hold up. I'll show you.
Okay.
If I could, okay, it's a big glare on that, but that.
I see. Nice. Cool.
She did that with me once. That's it. She was like, hey, she said in her wedding vows that she was like, I will do this with you one time. And that was Dragon Con 2015. And just to also, and this right here, I don't know if it'll.
No, it's glared.
Yeah, it's the Autobot symbol.
Oh, that's your wedding ring? That's so sweet. Yes, that's what I need. I need somebody who understands.
Yeah, and this was basically a reminder to me. This hasn't happened, but I was like, if I ever lose my mind and start not appreciating her, start doing whatever, I can look at this and be like, Negro, she has always accepted everything about you and not, I'll brag about this to the day I die. We were still, I think we were dating at this point. Came over to my apartment. Us bachelor guys, we got everything in the living room. We ain't got Jack in the dining room. She's walking around the dining room and she's just kind of looking around and she stops in this one corner and says, you know what, Myron? This corner would be a really good spot for a new shelf for your Transformers collection. Who are you?
Yeah.
Are you a real girl? Where did you come from? Where did they make you? So like, yeah, little stuff like that where I was like, I got a winner. I'm locking this down ASAP. So that was just a symbol of me, just a symbol and a reminder. So
yeah, I just know I don't want to get involved with somebody again who frowns up, or it's okay to not like it, but if like she doing that, she going to do that challenge.
Yeah, we don't need the side comments. We don't need the start.
I'm good. Like, I don't need that ever again.
The passive aggressiveness. No.
I would prefer it, because I'm one of these days I want a couple cosplay. Like that's like I want that. I want to know what that feels like. I've done it with friends, but I'm like, I would like to know
what love is. Sorry.
Right. And I'm like, so I want to. That's what I'm. This is my thing. I'm gonna find me somebody I can do a couples cosplay with.
I'm
and actually go home and sleep with them too.
Yes, that. Yeah.
And on that note,
I'm putting it out there. I am. Whatever currency you believe in, whether it's I'm putting good vibes out there, claiming it in the name of Jesus or whatever, I'm claiming this for you. It's gonna happen. Dang it.
Yes.
Anyway, y'all, that is it. Oh, first, before I actually close this out, y'all at home, I want you to know she lied to me, talking about she boring in real life.
I am boring.
You are not.
I am.
You are not. Okay. Anyway. I yawned one time. It was because I'm actually sleepy. That's it. Okay. Not from you. Anyway, y'all, that is it. That is I messed up my own outro. let me try that again. All right, well, that is it from us tonight, y'all. Y'all have a good time or whatever con y'all going to next. Let me rewind. Skyy, where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they get your book set? Where can they find whatever you've put out there? All that stuff.
Books available everywhere. You can buy books. Amazon, of course, being the easiest place. Barnes and Noble, all those places. Audible. A few of my books are now available for audiobook purchase or to read, or not read, listen to. As far as where to find me, social media, it's simply Skyy with 2 Y's. So simply, then SKYY, like the vodka.
Skyy.
Yes, you can find me everywhere on social media. My website's the same, simplyskyy.com. Facebook, Twitter, Google. My TikTok sucks, so don't look at that because I'm old. Right. But simply Skyy everywhere. So
cool. All right, now thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good time whatever con you're going to next. Please be careful. Please be safe. Please act right. Act ACK. Please act right so we can have an actual con season in 2022. Good luck on your cosplay builds. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button. Do all of that for Skyy. Hopefully I'm actually pointing in the right direction because I always mess this up. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Bye.